is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Tuesday, 5 minutes past the top of the hour, July the 27th. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, on a beautiful Tuesday here in East Tennessee. Ben, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jason Swain. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the GOAT. To the GOAT.
My birthday was yesterday.
Your birthday is today. You know why?
My birthday is tomorrow.
Look, you bring this on yourself because you put your birthday in your profile. So when somebody clicks on your Twitter profile, balloons go up.
I was hacked.
Oh, were you?
I was hacked. How did I change that?
You go in.
Is it too late?
No, you can go in and you go. I don't
Golly, where's these balloons coming from?
I don't know how to do it on the.
Edit profile. Oh, there it is.
But I know how to do it on my phone.
Edit date of birth.
You just take it off.
Edit July 26th. Whatever, man.
Happy birthday,
I'm removing it.
King.
I remove my birthday.
You need to embrace your birthday more than you do, Swain. We say this every year. I know you don't like birthdays, but particularly your birthday. You celebrate others' birthdays.
I
but
love
you
your
don't-
birthday.
Yes, and you love your. Thankfully, you love your kids' birthdays.
I love my kids' birthday.
You love your wife's birthday.
I love my wife's birthday.
You love your dog's birthday.
Well, he ain't had one yet.
Will y'all? Do you know the actual day he was born?
Hey, yeah, I do. Hold on, some
Or
my
will
calendar.
you all celebrate his gotcha date?
Yeah, because my daughter said it yesterday that we're celebrating the dog's birthday. So that is happening. I have it on my calendar somewhere.
Well, regardless, happy birthday. I know you're not a big fan of celebrating your own birthday, but you should. Each birthday is special. and
It is, man,
precious.
for sure. For sure, man. I got a big day planned. Oh yeah, my dog's birthday is March 26th.
Nice. Almost the same day of the month as you.
March the 26th.
Well, I'm saying like 26th, 27th.
Yeah,
same
yeah,
Day
yeah,
of the
yeah,
month.
yeah.
My dad's birthday is on the 27th
The March.
of September.
Gotcha. The
The best month of the year.
Wow, because that's the same month that your birthday is in too.
Mm-hmm. And football starts and
Man, around the corner, man. Real like the games start.
they start practice a week from. Well, they report a week from today,
Mm-hmm.
the 3rd, and then the 4th is the first day of practice.
I said-
next, Wednesday.
I say it every year. I'm like, man, I don't know how they do it. It's hot. It feels like it's hotter every single year. And I say the same thing this year. Like, I don't. Is it hotter this year than it was last year? It's like, yeah, it's hotter. How do they do it? Well, they about to do it here in about a week. They are about to do it. They'll have the luxury of practicing in the morning. Even during fall camp, they're going to practice in the morning. But
I hate that.
a little bit later in the morning than when the classes start, but it'll still be in the morning. We'll still be able to catch some practice, Ben.
On the weekend.
No, we'll be able to catch some during the week, during fall camp.
You'll be able to.
No, we will be able to. Soon as the show over, we'll get out the blocks like Hussein Bolt. Ready, go!
Yeah, but see, you have special privilege over there. I do not. Even though I feel like since I am a graduate of the university, an alumni, that I should have the same privilege of watching practice once the media leaves as well. The only difference between you and I, Swain, is you actually played. I supported while I was in school.
I wish it was like that for you.
I drove all the way down to Gainesville to watch Felipe Franks find Tyree Cleveland for a Hail Mary to beat Tennessee because Butch Jones didn't know how to practice goal line snaps with Jarrett Garantano. I drove all the way down there to witness that. That alone should allow me practice privilege.
I mean, I agree. I think you should be able. I think they should open practice up more, especially during fall camp.
I think they will. I think in-season access will be about the same. But I think preseason practice will be a little more accessible to the media. I don't think it'll be a great difference, but hey, a little more access is better than no more access at all. So I think the media will be able to see a period or two more, and I really think that players are going to be more accessible.
They can't wait to talk now.
Oh yes, oh yes.
If I was a player, I would volunteer to talk every chance I got.
Yes,
Every chance.
especially now.
Every chance.
Now, and to be fair, the players were going to be more accessible, regardless of if the NIL had come into fruition or not, because aside from the NIL, Tennessee needs its players propped up and talked about and their stories shared to kind of, quite frankly, distract from the overall ability of the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Tennessee, you do everything that you can to brand your players, market your players, help your players achieve their goals off the field and on the field. And this is all part of the idea of separating yourself from the pack, and everyone's getting big checks from the conference. Everyone had nice facilities, but what's going to separate you is the culture that you create, the culture that you maintain, and this is all part of it. So, speaking of that, how about Jay Billis, college basketball analyst for ESPN, yesterday on Twitter, put out a video and said, you know what? If I'm the ACC, I approach the SEC about a merger.
I think it is a smart idea on the ACC's part, but if you're the SEC, why would you even remotely consider merging with the ACC?
There's some teams inside the ACC that you just don't need. If you're Greg Sankey,
you don't want.
Yeah, you don't need you don't need or want.
There's what? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Football, there's only two teams, Clemson and Florida State. But what if you wanted to impact college athletics more than just on the football field, and you agreed to bring in Duke and North Carolina as well for the basketball aspect of things? Now that, you'll talk about changing the landscape of college athletics, and it's not just those two. I mean, what about Syracuse?
I mean, hey, North Carolina football is better than about 4 teams in the SEC right now.
4? More.
Yeah, I mean, I was being nice now.
That's generous.
I was being nice. Are you including us?
North Carolina's better than Tennessee right now.
Yeah. So
they actually have a quarterback.
They actually have a quarterback.
And a proven head coach.
May be drafted in the first round this year.
Maybe the first
top
quarterback
10
off the board.
Yeah, I know, right? So it had me thinking a little bit. I know where we're going, man. We're going to
NFL model.
We're going to the NFL model. It's happening. It is happening. Which, hey, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with the NFL model. What I don't like about the NFL model, and what I mean when I say I like the NFL model, the AFC, NFC style of scheduling and divisions, if there are even divisions at the college level, if it kind of goes that route, that stuff doesn't bother me. A conference championship game, a wild card weekend of playoffs, like that stuff doesn't bother me. What I don't like about a potential NFL model, Swain, is, and I had a tweet that alluded to this while I was on vacation. We love college football because of the rivalries, and to be more specific, the geographical rivalries, and we love, whether we want to admit it or not, we love college football because of the conferences that we are in. And we love talking mess to schools outside of the conference. So the rivalry, the passion, and although it sounds silly, like we take pride in the geographical aspect of things as well. And all of that is going away. Like Texas and Oklahoma, I understand why the SEC is doing it. I don't like it from a Tennessee perspective because it makes things harder on Tennessee to get back to being Tennessee. But I really don't like it because it's taken away from college football. The SEC is not going to feel like the SEC anymore.
No, I mean,
and that's why we love college sports.
This is not.
Not because of the SEC specifically, but because of the feelings that we get from the rivalries within the conference, the geographical bragging rights, I guess you could say. And if you go to the NFL model, you're losing all of that, and that is taking away from college sports.
It's changing. College sports is changing. We might as well embrace it. Maybe the NFC will be the SEC. Maybe. But this had to happen.
Yeah.
We've been griping about the NCAA for decades, for years and years and years. So what do we think was going to happen if the NCAA went away? Who's going to govern? Well, you got to create a super conference. You got to create a NFL type model for that to happen, potentially. So embrace it. I'm embracing it. You know, my point has been shared about Texas and Oklahoma, how it makes it a little bit harder for Tennessee to recruit in that area. But there's good players all over the country, and you better find them early. You better develop them, and you better win. And this is just what it is. There's no reason to fight it. Or you can be like the Missouri AD and say, you know what? I'm good. I'm not on board for all this change. I'm just gonna go ahead and retire now. And that's what the Missouri AD did, according to reports yesterday. So you saw Coach K announce that this was going to be his last year. Roy Williams stepped down, North Carolina. Some of the older coaches, you know, the Rick Barnes and company, guys that have been super successful for a very, very long time, the David Cutcliffes. I think this is what expedite their retirement, to be honest. I think this is going to...
Hope it doesn't do the same for Rick Barnes.
Well, if Rick had a 6-year plan, maybe it's 5, you know.
Or 4.
A 5-year plan, maybe it's 4. I mean, I just don't see these guys going to work the same way each and every day like they did before with all these changes, man.
It'd be hard to. I mean, it'd be hard to not want to go coach in the professional ranks, so you don't have to deal with all this. And oh, by the way, I would take Miami too. If the SEC wanted to make a power move, go get Syracuse, Carolina, Duke, Florida State, and Clemson for football purposes and basketball purposes. And then you'd have to find a 6th team, or we can just boot out Vanderbilt.
No, we need Vanderbilt now.
But we're adding Duke.
So
we're adding Duke can be the new Vandy.
No.
Well, then let's kick out.
We can have 2. We can have a blue Vandy and let's bring in Northwest, have a purple Vandy. Well, then the original Vandy, and they can all be in our pod.
Well, the point of kicking out Vandy is because you're bringing in an odd amount of teams, so somebody's got to go, or you got to go get somebody else. As Kevin Hart once said, somebody's got to go. You go get Notre Dame, let them be the 6th team.
Man, this
is all crazy. Or how about this? Go get UCF. Then you can have a pod of Florida State, Florida, UCF, and Miami.
Woo. So not only are we bringing in Texas, who won a national championship, Oklahoma, that's won a national championship, but Central Florida, who's also won a national championship. Right?
Yes.
2018 national champions. Or was it 2017? Anyways, they won a championship. They're champions. Let's bring them in the conference as well. We'll take our first break of the day. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. 865-255-03, the Irish Network's hotline. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. United States and Japan squaring off gold medal game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's get some slap bunts in here.
As
bring home the gold.
You actually will see slap bunts in this game. As Kentucky Vol pointed out, Monica Abbott didn't get the start, but will probably pitch at some point. Kat Osterman is on the mound at the moment. And USA Japan, they do not like each other in softball. Like, the two teams cannot stand each other. Like Alabama, Auburn, North Carolina, Duke level of hate for one another.
Oh, let's clear the benches then. Let's go. Let's mix in, since we over here adding Olympic sports every single 4 years, and then we got 303 basketball. Let's add in a mix of softball and the UFC. Let's go.
I'm with you. So what do you think of Jay Billis's comments yesterday about the ACC trying to, or he thinks that if he were in charge of the ACC, he would approach the SEC about merging. I think it would be smart for the ACC, but I don't know why the SEC would bite unless it just truly wanted to take over college athletics. I don't see why the SEC would do that. What do you think about all that?
I mean, listen, man, I think I'm intrigued by this whole NFL type model. The thing about the NFL, there's only 32 teams. Well, if you bring in Texas, Oklahoma, that's already half right there. And then if you bring in the entire ACC, that's not the best teams in the country that you've added, because there's still Ohio State out there.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of hard to expect to bring in USC in your conference when they're in California. And listen, they are one of the best programs. They're going to recruit at a high level with the NIL, and they're usually one of the top 4 teams in the Pac-12. Maybe that's not saying much, but they'll be in the mix. They'll be one of the best teams in the country. So you're not going to get USC just because of how far they are. But Ohio State, How do you create a super conference without Ohio State? So I don't know about the entire ACC, but I am intrigued by a few teams in the ACC. I think we mentioned those before the break, and Miami, the Florida States, the Clemson of the world. We know Texas A&M was fighting it with Texas because they wanted to be the main team in the state. They want to be the team. Well, Florida wanted to be the main team in Florida for so long, and that's why you didn't see any talk about serious talk about Florida State being added to the conference in the past, because Florida was going to shut that down. The same way that Texas A&M was blocking and trying to block Texas at this point, Florida was not going to let Florida State or Miami join the league, because it gives them the advantage in that state when they go out and recruit. Kids want to play in the SEC. Florida State couldn't offer that. Miami couldn't offer that. Now, it didn't really matter that much when Jimbo Fisher was there, because he did a great job of recruiting until he didn't do a good job of recruiting. He did a good enough job of recruiting to win a championship, but then the wheels kind of fell off, and then he didn't do a good job of recruiting and left the team a lot of talent and no offensive lineman. Kind of like 2012 with Derek Dooley, didn't recruit an offensive lineman, and it left old Lyle in a bit of a bind, having to redshirt guys just to have them for the year where all the offensive linemen, the senior offensive linemen went on. I think it was Marcus Jackson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by bringing all the best teams in one conference. I mean, at this point, this is what it's going to be. Might as well embrace it. I understand that it's not going to be ideal for Tennessee, but you just got to embrace it. There's no reason to fight it. It's happening. Like, if it was a question if it was going to happen or not, then I would probably fight it. Like, no, come on, we stopped the Shiano hire. Let's stop this, guys. Come on, let's go stop it. There's no point. There's no point in putting that energy in it. It's going to happen.
And I'll share next segment during Around the SEC some information as to how much money the league is going to make off of this new power conference, if we want to call it that. Steve Berkowitz, a sports projects reporter and editor for USA Today, he put together an article analyzing just how much money the SEC can generate from Texas and Oklahoma joining the league, and it is stupid money, just absolutely stupid money.
Billion.
So you and your Shiano pitchforks could not stop the SEC from doing what it is going to do.
Wasting time, right?
So now, if even before like the Texas Oklahoma news, like we were already having conversations in college athletics about super conferences anyway, or an NFL style of model, or doing away with the conferences. Like, those conversations already existed. So Greg Sankey obviously is way more informed than we are in those type of conversations. I mean, heck, Texas and Oklahoma reached out to the SEC behind closed doors back in December, and that news didn't get out until the day Jimbo Fisher was taking the podium, the day Nick Saban was taking the podium, Mike Leach was taking the podium at SEC Media Days is when it finally got out. So if this isn't the final move, and like the SEC and whoever merges together to form like a 25-30 team, practically NFC, AFC type of thing, and then you have the Pac-12 and the Big 12 combining, and you have like a bona fide AFC versus NFC, and Greg Sankey like made this move to get out ahead of people, I'll give him major kudos, because he saw it coming before anybody else, and he jumped out and got Texas, Oklahoma, and who knows what other schools.
I think I don't know if I would give him credit for seeing it before anyone else. I think he has the power to execute it.
Yeah, I don't know. I give people credit for being proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we've been frustrated with Tennessee about being reactive at times rather than proactive.
Oklahoma State President Casey Sherm not happy. Not happy. Oklahoma State's president said the intentions of Oklahoma, quote, the result of months of planning with the SEC, a clear breach of conference bylaws. She made statements she made a statement, then also in a series of tweets. She called Oklahoma's actions strategic and deliberate. It is difficult to understand how an Oklahoma institution of higher education would follow the University of Texas to the detriment of the state of Oklahoma. Trying to make it about the state, huh?
Mm-hmm. Texas is doing the same. Their governor called for a legislative meeting early next month to discuss the ramifications on the local economy of Texas leaving the Big 12 and what that could mean for the local economy.
Listen, man, Oklahoma is thinking about Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma is thinking about the University of Oklahoma.
Here's where it gets interesting.
We rivals, right? Care about you.
It gets interesting though, Swain, because I don't know if you've seen some tweets out there from the Ross Dellingers and the Bruce Feldmans, those type of people. They say the only ones who can get in the way of Texas and Oklahoma happening are political members in the state of Texas and Oklahoma. And here's where it gets interesting. John Stitt, who is the governor of Oklahoma.
Hey, man, don't be cussing on here, man.
Why we say titty? Why can't we say Stitt?
Don't. You say it.
Shout out to Blade Tidwell.
It's not necessarily approved yet. You just do it anyways.
I do it anyway.
I haven't got any bad emails yet. So.
But John Kevin Stitt.
Hey, man.
Stitt. He is the governor of Oklahoma, and guess where he went to school?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. You think Governor Stitt is just going to stand by and watch the Big 12, the conference that his alma mater resides in, their biggest rival?
It sounds like that should be a cuss word, though.
It does sound like that should be a cuss word.
Well, the Texas governor went to
Texas.
He went to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And Duncanville High School. Ooh,
and does it say where he got his master's from?
Vanderbilt.
Something to keep an eye on. I find that very interesting that the Texas governor went to Texas and got his master's in the SEC, and you can't convince me that he did not know that this was coming.
He went to law school at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
The year I was born.
Nice. What was that, 50 years ago?
Either I'm really young or he's really old.
You're really young. You're like, what, 38 today?
37 today.
Stop and think about it.
Yeah, he's 63. No, but he's 63 years young. But yeah, man, he went to Vanderbilt. He's kind of like a political Skip Bayless, all right? Because Skip Bayless went to OU, I think, and then no, he went to Vanderbilt, but he's from Oklahoma, so he got some Big 12 SEC ties there. But yeah, I mean, politicians are going to get in the way of this if this is going to be blocked.
Especially the Oklahoma governor. I have a hard time believing the Texas governor, what's his name, Greg Abbott?
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time believing he'll get in the way because I don't care what you say about Vanderbilt. He spent a couple years in Nashville. He understands the SEC footprint and how advantageous that can be to his true alma mater of Texas. But the Oklahoma governor, I could definitely see him getting in the way, having gone to Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma leaving would be awful for Oklahoma State. So I could see the Oklahoma governor, Mr. Stitz.
I know one thing, man. I'll be sitting with a lawn chair with a nice mix of caramel and cheddar popcorn, just watching all the drama unfold, knowing that we're not part of it.
Well, we are part of it.
Tennessee's not part of the drama.
They're not part of the drama, but it affects Tennessee.
Hey, we ain't part of the drama. That's all I care about.
I get it. Do you want politicians to get in the way of this happening and make sure that it doesn't happen? If you could wave a magic wand and sway whether the politicians are going to get in the way of getting this done. Would you waive it?
You know, it's funny, man, because anytime athletes have anything to say about politics, they're told to stick to sports. But yet here we are. 865-255-03 is our telephone number to the Irish Networks hotline. Be right back.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
My man, Big Orange Mac, is on this Irish Networks hotline, and we are going straight to the Mac VIP, first in line. Big Orange Mac, good morning. Actually, you're the only person in line, but I try to make you feel really good. I hope I was successful. What's up, man?
Good morning, Jay Swizzle. Happy birthday, my man. It's Mr. Nasty Tan.
Thank you, Big Orange Mac, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Speaking of birthdays, been jamming. If you're going to make it down to the ATL Hot Atlanta on August 24th, holler at your boy. I'm going to be in the house. So if you down there, just come on find way. Holler at your boy if you're gonna be down there because they playing the Yankees that week.
I'll be there. I've already got my tickets in my hotel booked.
Y'all
Y'all
gonna get some wings?
Yeah. Are we meeting at the baseball game, or are we meeting at a different establishment that I know that you would like to spend your birthday at?
I'm definitely going to that establishment.
I've saved up coins for like the last 10 years in this big old wine jar. I can hook y'all up. Y'all can go make it hell. Quarters, pennies, nickels, pennies. I got you. I'll hook it up.
Hey, I hadn't called in a while. There's a couple things I want to get off my chest. First of all, let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. I know we in a situation where we're trying to get back to being Tennessee, but like Jay Swizzle said, it's going to happen. The SEC is getting bigger, getting badder, getting meaner, and anything that triggers the Big Ten, I'm all for it because I know they all toe up.
Toe up.
From the
toe
floor.
up. So I despise the Big Ten, and anything to trigger them, I'm all for it. But come on home, Texas and Oklahoma, because whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. Go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with. It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
And it's only going to make the SEC brand stronger. And just it is what it is. It was bound to happen sooner or later, but we didn't know it was going to be that quick. And
yeah, it's here. I was hoping that we got a little bit better before we had all these changes, but hey, whatever.
Yep, it is what it is. It is what it is, baby.
That's right.
Let's embrace it. Ain't no use in fighting it. Embrace it. Love it.
That's right.
You be what it be.
SEC Media Days. SEC Media Days. My only concern is every coach we've had comes, oh, he's such a great speaker. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care if he got up there and told jokes. I don't care if he went over the whole roster. Win ball games. That's just a bunch of chatter.
That's it.
At SEC Media Days. Win ball games. That's all I care about.
That's it.
My only concern is, he talking about how fast his offense is going to be. My concern is defense. How's a fast-paced offense going to complement our defense? Because that's the side of the ball I'm most worried about. Thin on the D-line, thin at linebacker. I'm really concerned about it. If they want to go warp speed, and weigh our defense, either we just going to have to outscore somebody or we fishing to just, Lord have mercy,
That's
I don't
it.
even want to think about it.
That's
it. Gentlemen, it was great to talk to y'all this morning. Have a great day and go Big Orange.
My man, have a good day, Big Orange Mac. There's going to be a learning curve. I just wonder how steep it's going to be for this staff. When you have Rodney Garner, you have Willie Martinez, you got some guys that coached in this conference, been in this conference. Cody Burns played in this conference, coached in it a little bit. But there's going to be a learning curve. For Josh Heupel, there's going to be a learning curve for offense coordinator, defense coordinator, Banks and Golish. Like, there's going to be a learning curve. It's just how steep is it going to be and how long will it take for us to adjust? I think day one they got a quick lesson in SEC recruiting. Day one on the job. Each day, either you're recruiting at a high level or you're getting behind. There is no taking a breath, taking a day. Maybe you can do that at Central Florida, but you can't do it here. And the tactics that are used to be able to get the upper hand in recruiting are unlimited. Like, you got to be creative. It's every single minute of every single day.
It's not okay to call somebody once a week, once every 2 weeks. If they are one of your top targets, if they are top 5, top 7 on your board, it's not okay to call them once or twice a week. You can do that at UCF and be okay.
Yep.
And I do think that has been an adjustment for this coaching staff, and they'll get the hang of it. part of moving from a non-Power 5 school to one of the premier brands and the premier conference in the entire country.
865-255-03. Attaboy is coming up. Touchdown turnovers coming up. Stay with us. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Hoes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy! Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
$90 days, no payment for business internet. Reliable, local, high-quality business fiber internet and voice. Iris Networks. Go to their website, irisnetworksusa.com, or give them a call, 865-448-4747. That brings us Attaboy, where we highlight positive stories. Good news, and I'm sticking right here to Tennessee Athletics for my Attaboy and an Attagirl. It's kind of a combination because on the 25th, 2 days ago, new assistant coach Rod Clark and his wife welcomed their baby girl into the world. So Attaboy to Rod Clark, Attagirl to Mrs. Clark on the birth of their daughter. So really, really cool moment for the Clarks and Tennessee basketball family. So I was driving past UT Medical on Sunday, and it's just pretty cool to have some kids that was born at the University Hospital and born and raised right here is what Rod Clark's daughter could say when she gets a little bit older. I don't know how long she's gonna be raised here. Because Rod Clark is certainly moving up the ranks really, really fast. So who knows how quickly he's going to be a head coach. because he's just flying up the charts. But maybe she'd be like Lane, son. Maybe she'll be named Knox. Remember Lane named his kid Knox because he was born here in Knoxville. So, just kidding. Attaboy to Rod Clark, though.
Yes, huge attaboy. I am giving an attagirl to Lydia Jacoby, who is 17 years old and last night became the first Alaskan swimmer to win Olympic gold, securing the medal in the 100-meter breaststroke in a major upset on Tuesday at the Tokyo Olympics. Jacoby, 17, surprised everyone by finishing ahead of South Africa's, oh my gosh, what a name, Tatjana Schoenmaker. She finished ahead of,
sounds about right,
that young lady from South Africa, and also finished ahead of the United States defending gold medalist Lily King. Schoenmaker, the South African, took the silver. King, the American, captured bronze, her first defeat in a 100-meter breaststroke final since December 2016. As Jacoby touched the wall and glanced up, she appeared stunned. King, again, the other American who won bronze, swam over, holding her hands and slapping the water in joy. Jacoby became one of the youngest American swimmers to win an Olympic gold medal, joining elite company. The only younger U.S. swimmers to collect an individual gold in the past 20 years were Katie Ledecky and Missy Franklin. Jacoby, who is from Seward, Alaska, I hope I said that right, moved to Anchorage earlier this year to train. Her community watched live from Seward, jumping and screaming in joy as number one displayed against her name in the pool. Her winning time was 1 minute, 4.95 seconds, and the other winning time, or the second place time, was 1 minute and 5 seconds, 5.2222. So add a girl to Lydia Jacoby, 17 years old, one of the youngest to ever win an Olympic gold medal in swimming for Team USA. And she did so in upset fashion in the 100-meter breaststroke. I think the coolest thing is the first Alaskan swimmer to win Olympic gold. And she is committed to swim at Texas. She doesn't currently swim at Texas, but she's 17 and she is committed to swim at Texas. I think that is really cool as well. One of the few bright spots for USA this Olympics so far. It has not been great. If you're on Twitter this morning, within the last 15 to 20 minutes, you saw Simone Biles, arguably the greatest gymnast of all time. She left the arena with a trainer after her vault. She was then pulled from the uneven bars. NBC reported that she is out for the rest of the team competition, and U.S., according to Dan Wetzel, is trailing Russia by 2.500 points, a huge number in gymnastics. And now NBC has come back and reported that it is nothing physical with Simone Biles, but that it is mental. She was pulled because of something mental. Dan Wetzel again tweeted that she did appear to be physically injured on the vault attempt. She did look very upset about her attempt, which was not as difficult as planned. A lot more to find out. So Simone Biles, not that situation is not going well for the team gymnasts. USA basketball, the men's, not going well. They still have time to get it figured out.
How about we do this again in 2 years? Let's push this back. We not ready. It seems like
USA women's soccer had won like 46 straight matches and then lost their opener and then tied last night. USA softball trying to win gold, though. They're currently playing Japan. They're in the fourth inning, I believe it is. Yes, fourth inning, 0-0 game. So hopefully USA softball can capture gold, and USA women's basketball defeated the mess out of somebody last night. Of course, Brittany Griner was out there, so they dominated. But not going too well for USA at the moment.
We can use
like it typically does.
We can use some post presence on with the men's team.
Yeah,
she can go over there.
Can Brittany Griner go ahead and
play on both?
I mean, she passes as Jalen Hurd, so why can't she just adopt his name for the next 2 or 3 weeks?
I know Big Orange Mac look at that one.
Speaking of Big Orange Mac, can we just point out the fact that we moved an entire segment so we could get to Big Orange Mac's phone call? We were set to do around the SEC, and I was like, nah, we'll get to Mac. We'll come back to around the SEC.
Hey, man.
GOAT status.
You can't say the Swain Event. We're not show of the people, man. We move segments around for great callers.
So we are the show of the people.
So I want to ask you this, though, Ben. 4 head coaches making their debut in this conference. We had some new coaches last year, and one was Eli Drinkwitz, and he proved to be pretty good. I mean, pretty good in his first year there at Missouri. Had a strong finish. Looks like he's going to be okay. Developing quarterbacks, offense did a pretty good job. But there's 4 new coaches in the conference this year, and that's Auburn. Brian Harsin coming over from Boise State. You got Shane Beamer, longtime assistant. Oklahoma, Georgia, just did a great job for a lot of big-time coaches in his career as an assistant. You got Josh Heupel, and then you have Clark Lee there at Vanderbilt. Which coach do you think is going to have the best record? Or have the most success in year number 1?
Well, it definitely won't be Clark Lee.
It definitely won't be Clark Lee.
So we can go ahead and eliminate Clark Lee.
It won't be Clark.
I think Brian Harsin has the most talent out of that pool, but they go to Penn State week 2. They have a tough schedule. South Carolina, I don't know South Carolina's non-conference.
We play South Carolina, so that game may determine the answer to our question or to my question to you. But yeah, Auburn still plays the teams in the West. Ole Miss is going to be a lot better under Kiffin in year number 2.
South Carolina plays Clemson, and they play at A&M. That's their permanent cross. Their other West team that they get this year is Auburn at home. So I'm with you. The South Carolina-Auburn game, second to last week of the season, and the Tennessee-South Carolina game, I think will determine. There's not one that I feel just great about. If I had to pick one right now, I would go with Auburn. They have, even though we talked about Bo Nix yesterday and his lack of development, he's the most proven out of the 3 teams that we're talking about, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Auburn. And I think Gus Malzahn has ruined Bo Nix to the point to where we'll never see 5-star Bo Nix in college. But I do think we'll see a better Bo Nix, if that makes sense. And Tank Bigsby, the running back there at Auburn, might be the best running back in the league. And he could carry that offense to a really nice, solid year 1 for Auburn. And the other thing that I do like about Auburn, I love their linebacker core. Owen Pappoe coming back. He's going to be one of the best linebackers in the country in the SEC, so he could really help out in year 1. So I'm going to go Auburn, just simply because I think they have the most leftover talent of the 3 teams. And we know Tennessee's quarterback situation. South Carolina is going to start Luke Doughty at quarterback, and that's a guy who spent as much time practicing at wide receiver last year as he did the quarterback position. So I think Luke Doughty has the potential to be good, but again, he spent as much time working out at receiver last year as he did quarterback under Will Muschamp as a true freshman. So I'm going to go Auburn. I think they have the most leftover talent, and I think they're in the best situation at the most important position at quarterback.
I see a nice path to 7 wins for Auburn. I think their path to 7 wins is easier than Tennessee's and easier than South Carolina. So I think the most the choice with the most evidence is probably Auburn. Hour 2 coming up around the corner.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Hour number 2 here in the Swain Event. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Appreciate the love there, Tina R. Touchdown turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, the place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Looks like we're going to see new team in the SEC as soon as 2022.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic of right now the first possible season if Texas and Oklahoma were to play out the remaining contract that it has with the Big 12. It would be 2024. But
unless
these things, and in the past, these things have never lingered. The SEC, I'm sure, will help Oklahoma and Texas buy out of its deal with Big 12, and it'll be next year in which Texas and Oklahoma is part of the league. You go back and you look at A&M and Missouri when they made the move, and it happened the same way, to where it happened the very next season after it was announced.
Touchdown turnover. There will be a third team, or maybe even a fourth team. But do you feel like there will be more than 2 teams added to the SEC at the start of the 2022 season? I know where we're going. The question is more about the rate of speed of getting there. We know we go into super conferences. We know the SEC is going to continue to expand. But 2022, do we see more than 2 teams join this league? Touchdown turnover.
So at the beginning of next season.
Yes, sir.
I say turnover. I think that this will be a rapid change, if that makes sense. Like, I think all of this in terms of moving to NFL style conferencing and whatnot, I think that will all happen fairly quickly, but it'll also be somewhat spaced out. Like, I think all of it will happen within the next couple of years, but I don't think it'll all be announced or take place within the next 12 months. So I say turnover. I definitely think it happens. I think that there's too much smoke to more than just Texas and Oklahoma joining the league to just kind of be naive to it and think that there aren't going to be other teams.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say there's going to be more than 2 teams that are part of the SEC in 2022. I mean, think about how in the dark everyone was for so long on this Texas-Oklahoma addition to the SEC. And, like, people didn't find out until Oklahoma and Texas was rounding third and sliding into home almost. I mean.
Had talked to Greg Sankey behind closed doors since December.
Yes, for 6 freaking months.
And if you ask, I listened to Brent Zwernerman of the Texas Chronicle. He covers Texas A&M. We've had him on the show before, a friend of the Swain Event. He covers Texas A&M for the Houston Chronicle, I believe it is. He was on with Greg McElroy and Cole Kubick yesterday. He broke the story at SEC Media Days, and he was saying that genuinely it caught A&M off guard. Like, A&M did not know it was coming.
Well, that's weird because
and everybody made a big deal out of Ross Bjork
being there
at SEC Media Days, and Brent told, or Ross Bjork, the A&M AD, told Brent, the guy who broke the story, that wasn't abnormal for him. When he was at Ole Miss, he went down each and every year. It's just nobody pays attention to the AD being there or really takes note of the AD being there, but he has gone several years. So it caught A&M by surprise, which is it's kind of weird that the SEC was talking to Texas and Oklahoma, but essentially kept it from A&M. I found that interesting.
They have to be talking to other schools.
Yes,
have to. So, yeah, I think there's gonna be more than 2 teams, man, that will be a part of this league in 2022. I'm just curious to see who's going to be. 865-255-03. Big Orange J, how likely are we going to come out playing 2 quarterbacks to start the season? You see how it worked for Missouri against us last year. If they had switched quarterback sooner, we might have lost that game. That's a really good question. And I think it depends on what happens in fall camp. Ideally, I would want somebody to go ahead and win it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what Missouri did. What Missouri did is kind of what they had to do. I mean, you had a new coach come in. You had a transfer come in. And both guys didn't separate each other in practice enough to where, well, actually, maybe you did have the separation. You name one guy the starter, and I don't know if they mentioned during the broadcast that they had a plan to play 2 quarterbacks, or did the starting quarterback just get pulled because he was performing badly?
Missouri?
Yeah.
Well,
remember the second game of the season?
Yes, he got pulled.
He got pulled. So
you know why? You know how you know that? He's currently the first team starting safety for Missouri. He changed positions midway through the year, did Sean Robinson, after transferring from TCU.
Yeah.
He's no longer even playing quarterback.
Yeah, so they might have, Sean Robinson might have tore up in fall camp and was named the starter, and Missouri didn't have any intention on going into the game planning to play 2 quarterbacks, series here, series there, and then kind of seeing who was going to win it, kind of like a Schaefer, Ainge deal in 2004.
Yeah, he was the veteran returning, was Sean Robinson, and then Connor Bazelak was coming off of his true freshman season, and he ended his true freshman season by tearing his ACL in the final game of the season. So Connor Bazelak last year, redshirt freshman, second game of the year after tearing his ACL in the final game of the previous season. So that's kind of why the quarterback situation was what it was for Missouri at the time. But then, as we all know, Bazelak came in late in that Missouri game and showed something.
Yeah, he did. And no surprise why he was a starter for the rest of the year. And Missouri, played well and won some games that, many people didn't think they were going to be able to win. I want us to be able to identify one guy, him be the quarterback, and not go into the game feeling like you have to play multiple quarterbacks and seeing which one is going to pass the other. I don't want quarterback drama.
I don't either. I think you should do that regardless of how fall camp goes. Like, you should go in to game number 1 with a guy in mind. Like, the guy that you think performed the best during fall camp should start game number 1. Even if all 4 had issues and you don't really feel comfortable with any of the 4, I think you have to pick a guy and let them ruin it. Make them make you make a decision. Don't go in planning to play Harrison Bailey the first 3 series, and then Joe Milton's going to get the next 3 series. Hendon Hooker may get a series in between or a series after. I think that is the recipe for disaster. Go in with one guy in mind, even if you don't necessarily feel like he gives you a ton of confidence or didn't have a great camp. If he was the best out of the 4, go with him until he gives you a reason to make a change.
I don't know if you can do that, though. I think it sounds good, but I don't know if you can truly pull that off, though.
But to me, that is better than the other situation that I described.
Because I think if you're the coach, you do what the players are showing you they can do. I think it's no different than a coach saying, all right, I have a philosophy, I have a system, and Hypo has said this before, this is what I like to do, but if the talent on my team can't handle those things from a physical standpoint or a mental standpoint, then we're not going to do those things. We're going to play to the strength of our players. I think that's the same approach you take when you look at the quarterbacks. If all the quarterbacks are even, that is a worse situation for Josh Heupel.
Yes.
That would be terrible. What you want is some separation, especially from one guy versus the other 3. But do you force it, though? Like, do you force it if there is no separation?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I find it hard to believe that there wouldn't be some sort of separation, but
because it wasn't in the spring.
Well, one quarterback was not out there.
Yeah, I know. But between the 3, it wasn't.
I think there was separation in the spring. I think there was separation.
I don't think it was clear.
If you watch the spring game, if you go off the spring game, then sure. But Hendon Hooker, out of the 3 that participated in the spring, Hendon Hooker, Harrison Bailey, Brian Maurer, Hendon Hooker was the most consistent from spring practice number 1 to the end of the spring. There was separation in terms of consistency, which is what coaches really go off of. And you're spot on, obviously, with the worst thing for Heupel is nobody really separating themselves. You want somebody to go out there and take the starting quarterback position. Not earn it, but go out there and take it. There is a difference between taking the job and earning the job. Taking the job. If somebody goes out there and takes the job, I don't care if it's Brian Maurer. I don't care who it is in the room. If somebody goes out there and takes it, that's very telling to me, because you can technically earn the job, but just be slightly better than the other three over the course of fall camp. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, okay, he's ready to have a good season. But if you hear that somebody goes out and takes the job, to me, that's a totally different mindset and a sign of good things to come.
I want to go to the phones, and I want to come back to this, but it will be ideal for whoever wins the job to leave no doubt, obviously with the coaches, but with their teammates as soon as possible. The last thing you want is the players to be like, why is he the starter?
Because the players will know.
Oh, you don't want that, man.
Swain has
detailed
the players knowing many times here on the show. The players will know who deserves to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want the quarterback to leave no doubt as soon as possible.
Yes.
Coaches and players. All right, let's get to the phones. Who we have?
Cam in Florida.
Cam, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
Man, great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry to backtrack a little bit, but when you were talking about you wouldn't be surprised if there were more than 2 teams joining the SEC. I found something on the internet this weekend, and I don't know how speculative it is, but it listed 4 other teams as having interest in joining, and it was Clemson, Florida State, Michigan, and Ohio State, which that would just be crazy. I don't even know how other conferences would continue to exist or how they would compensate for the SEC having basically the 4 playoff teams all in one conference.
They wouldn't. They'd have to all merge together.
I think it was on a Clemson site that I seen that article, and then I seen something about USC joining the Big Ten, which then would also, to believe me, that Oregon probably would join it as well.
Well, I mean, when you look at the conferences, I guess in pecking order, SEC will be number 1, and I guess Big Ten will be right there number 2 as far as like the money and the contracts that they've been able to generate with the TV networks. It's always been a competition between the Big Ten and the SEC. But so, yeah, I think if you are a team on the outside looking in, if you're Oregon, it would probably be best for you to go to the Big Ten rather than stay in the Pac-12 if you're looking at dollars and what a conference can do for you as far as exposure as well.
Do you think that this could be like the vacancies in some of these other conferences could be an opportunity for like some of the, more well put together AAC teams to have a chance playing in a Power 5 conference?
I do. To me, there's no reason Memphis, UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, SMU. I mean, I don't think they're like bona fide Big Ten, SEC type of teams, but with Texas and Oklahoma moving on, why can't they all be in the Big Ten? Or the Big 12, sorry.
Yeah, Big 12.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't decide whether I like it yet or not. I kind of don't like it. But it's interesting. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Well, Cam, man, thanks so much for the phone call.
I just don't understand why Clemson would want to leave.
Hey.
Like I again, back to what I said yesterday about wanting to be in the club rather than out of the club, because you just gave me the Johnny Manziel money symbol. Absolutely. But like whether you're in the SEC or out of the SEC, put money to the side. Like these teams that aren't in the SEC, they're still going to have a chance to play for a national championship. So it's not like they're all of a sudden going to be in the American Conference and have no chance at winning a national championship. So if you're Clemson, you already have it made. Why would you leave the ACC and that scheduling to come play in the SEC when you already have a clear path to the playoffs, to the national championship game? Like I realize money is why they would and probably will make the move. I get that. But you have a clear path to a championship every single year. Why would you give that up? Because wouldn't you almost make money up on the back end from the national championships that you win?
The most important news you're going to hear during this segment. Monica Abbott is now in the game.
It took him long enough.
USA is down 1, 5th inning. Monica Abbott has entered the game.
And remember, in softball, they only play 7 innings, so it's crunch time. And it appears that this young lady for Japan is their power hitter.
It's 1 strike already, so let's go. Let's
2
go,
strikes.
Monica.
2
strikes.
now
Oh,
after
yeah.
that
2
foul
strikes. 2 strikes. Let's go, Monica Abbott.
Runner on first. Took him long enough.
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't understand why we can't hit. We couldn't hit the other day. We won 1-0 on a walk-off home run. But why 1 run over 12 innings? Like, what are we doing?
Not slap button.
I have not seen a single one of them slap buttons.
See, that's the secret right there.
I hate what baseball has become, and more so baseball than softball. But you see it in softball too. I hate just standing around waiting for the big home run to come, because when it does not come, it is not a fun product to watch. You get a bunch of zeros on the board.
But back to Cam's call about the other conferences. Other teams wanting to join the conference. Yeah, there's some interest for sure between Clemson and the SEC, and the only thing I can point to is money. That's the only thing I can point to. Really, for this whole move is money. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. But back to the quarterbacks, because we had a really good question from Big Orange J. You're playing in a game against a Bowling Green team. That's not your typical first game of the season where you go out there and you beat them by 50, but they're not UCLA or Cal or anybody like that either. 2-0. See what had happened was, so you can get away with probably playing 2 quarterbacks. If you get up by a lot of points. But I don't think playing 2 quarterbacks, giving them two series apiece, is going to be good for this football team at this point of where we are with our football program. We know the quarterback has been what's held us back the last couple of years. You need one guy to step forward, and it's good to see more and more people, based on what they've heard, think that Joe Milton's going to be the guy, only because, I want to be right. I feel confident when I hear guys like John Bryce and others, kind of say the same things that I've been saying for weeks. Mine was a pretty strong take early, and as we get closer and closer to the season, it seems like more and more people are kind of jumping on board with that. But we'll see what happens. Joe Milton has to go out and put it in work and execute and practice to be able to make us right. But the best thing will be for one guy to, without a shadow of a doubt, be the guy heading into the first game of the season and not have a quarterback controversy. And I remember in 2013 where you had that. Like, remember, we had that. Like, we had one guy step up and he was a starter. And I didn't think we would have any quarterback controversy heading into the first game. Justin Worley played well enough for Tennessee to win, but he did lead some throws on the football field. Didn't lead some guys, completed the pass, but guys had to kind of come back for the ball and couldn't run after the catch. And then there was a quarterback competition the Florida week, which was a terrible idea. So, like, we've been there where we saw a quarterback win the job and we thought that he was going to be the guy, only for a week or two later there to be the open quarterback competition in the first SEC game. At that point, was the biggest game of the season. But we need one dude to be the guy. And the only reason why the other guy goes in, or number 2 and number 3, is because of injury. That is the ideal situation for Tennessee, man. We don't need to be playing musical chairs at quarterback position at all. I don't want to see that.
I don't either. I despise 2 quarterback systems. Rarely do they work out. Rarely do they actually benefit the offense and the team. There are a few examples. The first one that comes to my mind is Tebow and Leak. Ainge and Schaefer generally worked out okay. Their true freshman season. What did y'all go that year?
We won 10 games.
Yeah, so that is a case of a 2 quarterback system.
And I mean, dude, that team was really good. We lost to Auburn twice, who went on to be undefeated, and we basically pooped the game away against Notre Dame. I mean, we could have easily been a 12-win season, a 12-win team that year.
Yeah. What would you say the strengths of that football team were?
Oh, running game, defense.
Do you think the running game and the defense is going to be a strength of this team, particularly the defensive side of the ball?
Let's go to the phones. Who we got?
We got Turkey Man.
Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
What's going?
We can't go in and with two quarterback system. I don't see the difference. Schaefer and Ainge, there was a difference. They brought different styles to the game that made it something different after practice for. Same thing down in Florida when Tebow would come in, and he had, Leak, was that his name?
Yep.
But I look at those situations there, and of course I guess the only time I've ever seen where they didn't miss a lick and then improved was Florida State that year when they won the national championship, and they had 3 quarterbacks come in and actually looked like each quarterback, because of injury, each quarterback was an improvement. I've never seen that really personally in three quarterbacks used through the season. But get my take on this, because of the system that we're going to try to run, which means quick, move the chains, fast, pace. You can't have no false starts or offsides or whatever it would be that would slow down the
any pre-snap penalties.
Yes, you can't have it and be successful. This and you look at our history in the last few years of the offensive line, has been really a problem for us, and I'm not sure how our offensive line is going to be able to maintain what they need to do with this fast start. The thing about it is 3 yards downfield, as far as a penalty goes on an offensive lineman, being 3 yards downfield on a pass play.
Yeah, but they don't really enforce it unless it's like
egregious,
more than 5 or between 5 and 7. They don't really enforce it.
It seems like they do with us.
Yeah, it does. The problem is it shouldn't exist at all, because it is so much of an advantage for the offense. There's no way for the defense to defend that, because Cole Kubick posted a clip on Twitter yesterday of the Alabama-Tennessee game, and it was an RPO, and the linemen are 5-6 yards down the field. And as a defender, it looks like a run coming. There's no way to defend it. I would love to see football, I guess that's college football rules, change that to where it's maybe a yard down the field. If not, like, the lineman can't do that at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's a whole different
I mean,
conversation.
I think you do a better job of trying to enforce that. But sometimes, man, you're finishing blocks on the run, and you're gonna find yourself, 3-4 yards down the football field. As long as it's not like,
then run the football.
As long as it's not like 7 yards, then hey, man, there's some gray area. Just like you can call holding every single play. Yeah. There's some gray area, and as long as it's not egregious, then okay. Like, you can call maybe a push off on a receiver. You can call a defensive holding on the DB. As long as it's not like just flat out, just obvious, and totally outside the lines, then man, you let them play.
I'd like to see them get rid of it.
Yeah. Well,
if At least 3 yards. At least cut it in half. Give the defense at least a chance.
I mean, it is 3 yards.
I know, but I'm saying change it.
Yeah.
Even at 3, the defense has no chance at defending it. And I agree with what you're saying about sometimes when a lineman is blocking on a run play and just happens to find himself 7 yards down the field, and that's fine. But actually run the ball on that play. Don't throw a slant over the middle of the field.
You got a chance if you make a play. I mean, it's not like everybody runs RPOs. That doesn't mean that everyone's successful at running them.
That's true.
So you better, like, everyone, we tried to do it, didn't we? You know, we tried to run RPOs, but there's a difference between us running RPOs and the Clemsons and Alabama's running RPOs. So you better have some DBs that can cover man to man and win those matchups on the outside. That's what it's going to take. Is you got to have good DBs to win those matchups on the outside. Because I remember asking Chief about that. I was like, man, how do you defend the RPO? He's like, you got to have some dudes that can cover. That's what it's going to take. Simple as that. Clemson Vol says, why does Heupel have a learning curve in the SEC, recruiting and or coaching? He ran the best offense in the conference when he was at Missouri. Well, it's simple, Clemson Vol. This is the first time being a head coach in the SEC. So when he was at Missouri, all he had to do was worry about offense. Here in the SEC, as a head coach, you have to worry about everything else. So Caden Salter gets in trouble, that's on your plate. You the head coach. You got to do interviews here and there. You got to do SEC media days. He didn't have to worry about that one time when he was at Missouri because he was not the head coach. So there's other things pulling him away from the X's and O's. So he has to rely more on his assistant coaches. So yeah, there is a significant learning curve with being a head coach in this conference. I don't care how successful you were as a coordinator. Jerome Pruitt ran the best defense in the conference when he was at Alabama. But what does he do? What did he do as a head coach?
Yeah, it's not as much learning X's and O's wise for Josh Heupel or adjusting to the style of play in the SEC. But it's more so just, to me, the biggest learning curve for Heupel, because I think he has an understanding of how to like manage the coaches and whatnot, and I think he understands that from a head coaching perspective. To me, it's the adjustment in recruiting. It just is different, and the UCF beat writers at the Orlando Sentinel tried to bait him in to a clickbait comment down at Media Days. Jeff Bianchi and I think the other one was Edgar Thompson.
Mike Bianchi?
Yeah, Mike Bianchi. They both asked him questions about the difference in recruiting, and I was sitting on the same row as them. Mm-hmm. I heard their conversations when Heupel was done. Mm-hmm. They were trying to get him to say something headline worthy, but it is a fair question because that is Heupel's biggest adjustment, and I think Heupel is going to be fine, but maybe having a little more assertiveness and, foot on the pedal 24/7, that is something that they are learning and making an adjustment to. So I think the learning with him coming to the SEC has more to do with off the field stuff, like recruiting primarily, rather than on the field stuff.
He's no different than Shane Beamer, Brian Harsin, or Clark Lee. All of them have a learning curve. Just the way it is. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. We'll go to the phones after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Eight 865-255-03. Let's go to the Irish Networks hotline and let's connect with DR Vol. DR Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Guys, we're amongst friends and Ben, so I know y'all tell me the truth on something, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Do y'all promise that the starting quarterback in Tennessee is going to be different this year?
What do you mean? Yeah, we promise. It's not going to be the same quarterback as last year. We can promise you
the
that.
last decade? Okay.
We promise.
Okay.
In
I got
fact,
that question.
Nobody that wears number no, somebody does wear number 2 on offense now because the new roster.
They won't be the quarterback though.
No, it won't. And this number 2 should bring back great memories. I was thinking about this last night. Jabari Small, who is likely to be Tennessee's starting running back, he has changed his number to number 2.
Ooh.
Remember the last running back that ran with a bunch of power and refused to be brought down? Remember the last one who rocked number 2?
Monterio Hards?
That's right. And I got to thinking it hit in my head last night that, hey, Monterio wore number 2. I like that.
Start
and then
off.
I got to thinking, wait, Jabari kind of runs like Monterio. Not saying that he
I'm
will
not-
have a Monterio type of season, but I mean, I don't think people realize how good Monterio was. He's one of the underrated backs in Tennessee football the last 15, 20 years, and I don't think that's close. I don't think he gets the proper credit, and Jabari runs very similar to Monterio in my opinion.
I agree with you, man, because I know me and you've said it before on this show. I mean, since I've been a Tennessee fan, he's my favorite running back. I was at the 2009 game when he broke that poor clown's ankles at South Carolina, that spin.
He did that all the time. You know, I remember when he was a freshman, 05, he came in and rocking the number 34, and he came in fall camp. And that was the year where Gerald Riggs preseason was on the Heisman list. And, you know, Gerald had changed his number from 31 to 21. And it was his time to shine. And unfortunately, Gerald broke his ankle that year against Alabama. But man, he did a great job of carrying the load. And you know, Gerald's one of the best backs that I've seen talent wise. But Monterio was making plays in fall camp. But that's when we used to have fall camp at the baseball field, and we used the outfield to save the grass there on Haslam. But Monterio was turning heads, and you got to think about it. At that time, we had Arian there too, who was a year before Monterio. But we saw the greatness in Monterio early. So, yeah, man, Jabari Small rocking that number 2 can be the next good one, the next great one.
Maybe he has the heart of a lion, guys. You think?
I hope so.
Yeah, just hold on to the ball. Don't fumble against Bama. Swain, here's my question for the day, and this is extremely random. Walk-ons. You know, everything going on with COVID this year, and I know they're trying to reduce this, reduce that. How do you think that affects walk-ons? Because I know they're kind of pushing we don't want to get political, I know, but kind of pushing the vaccine. Do you think that's more likely that'll eliminate some walk-ons? Like if they don't, say there's some walk-ons that don't want the vaccine, and, you know, we got to get to 85%. So, I mean, Apple can just tell them to get, right?
Wow.
Is that how a walk-on works?
Will they even count towards the number? Like, I wonder if the walk-ons even count towards the 80% or 85% are vaccinated.
That's what I wonder, man. I got a lot of questions about them.
That is a good question.
I don't know how that works. How the walk-ons factor into that. I don't.
I mean, I would think they would.
Because they're around the team.
Because they're on the team.
Right. Yes. That too. They're on the team and they are around the team.
They're on the team, but they just don't travel to SEC games, you know, on the road because you can only take a certain amount. So like not all walk-ons will be able to travel. So yeah, like they're on the team. So I think they would count towards that 85% vaccination rate.
Okay. Now, with a walk-on, just tell me, I guess, kind of when you played, what are they? Just, I don't mean this in
they're humans. They're regular people, man.
Oh, really? They're like us? They eat and sleep like us?
Yeah.
I mean, are they practice dummies? They carry the pads, stuff like that? I guess they're not like freshmen on a high school team. I know they've got equipment managers, and I know some of them play, but like back when you played, did y'all treat them any different or anything?
No, man. I treat them like humans.
No, you didn't. You probably didn't even acknowledge them.
That's not true.
Who was your favorite walk-on?
David Yancey.
Not your brother?
My brother was on the team for a couple weeks.
That counts. He was a walk-on at one point, and he wasn't even your favorite. I hope he's not listening.
Whatever, man. So walk-ons did everything everybody else did. They had their own locker. Now, they just didn't get first, second team reps in most cases. They were not practice dummies per se, but they.
You know what I'm getting at.
You know, you didn't line them up and just hit them. You know, you didn't do that. They're very important, actually. Very, very important because when you're looking at trying to get ready for a team, you need guys that can help you generate a good look. You don't want to get into the game and be surprised because all the walk-ons are terrible and all your second team, third team guys are terrible. You want to be able to have a good set of walk-ons, good set of young players to where on the second field where you have the twos and threes versus threes, and it's time to do your scouting report, and it's time to work on what the other team is going to do. You need to have someone challenge the person across from you to get you ready for the game on Saturday. So they're important to y'all, Vol.
That's what Brian Maurer's for.
They really are. So yeah, I mean, whoever starts a quarterback and whoever's third or fourth, and they decide to stay, then man, they'll be responsible for helping the defense get prepared for the upcoming quarterback.
Maurer is actually going to be
a good look.
Low key important for what you just said, because he's the only really quarterback that is, in my opinion, truly a dual threat. Hendon Hooker is also in that conversation, but Maurer is the one who has the best legs, and Tennessee's going to face a couple of quarterbacks who are great with their legs, and so Maurer's actually going to be really important this season as a scout team quarterback. Hopefully he buys into that role.
He'll be important if his attitude is where it needs to be.
Correct, which is why I said I hope that he buys into that role. Because, truly, Tennessee's going to face a lot of quarterbacks who have that similar skill set to Maurer.
Yeah, we'll see what happens right there.
Well, and if we have a COVID outbreak, Maurer can play DB. I mean, he's great at backpedaling, so
he's
probably good at that.
No comment.
Yeah, we don't want to. It is his team, so we don't go after him. But, Ben, that may be a good story for you, man, like a life of a walk-on. That randomly popped in my head the other day, and I just kind of wondered. Last question on a walk-on. I know people listening think, hang up on me, land the airplane, but are they someone like they can get cut at any time?
Yeah, anybody can get cut at any time. They just have a shorter leash. I mean, it's just the facts. So you have a walk-on, get in trouble, you're probably going to get kicked out of the team.
Well, and it seems like a lot of the walk-ons, after a year or two of walking on, they kind of they realize the situation and will go play at UTC or Jacksonville State, ETSU, a team like that.
It's tough, man. I give the walk-ons a ton of respect. That's tough, man. You're never gonna play. Your best bet is to play on special teams. I mean, it's tough. You do everything that everyone else is doing. You're doing all the off-season conditioning, all the training. You go into class, going to meetings. I mean, you're doing everything that everyone else is doing, and your best shot at playing is on special teams. Like that's tough. That is tough. So I never have anything negative to say about a walk-on. I just don't put a lot of stock in them, starting and playing offense defense, because I just don't see it happen much. Those are special guys and special cases when we see walk-ons play. They have to kind of show me before I think that they're going to actually play offensive defense. Most of the time, their best bet is playing on special teams. But they're humans, D.R. Vol. They put their pants on. Just like us, man. They believe if you cut them. They cry when they sad. They're humans.
So basically what they're saying, they got to be good teammates. So at orientation, they're showing a picture of Euros and be like Euros, right?
Sure.
WWUD.
Sure, yeah. Be the best teammate you can be, like Euros.
I got you.
Best teammate in college basketball.
Ben, if you will, collaborate with Sab, and y'all get a story together on that. I think it'd be interesting. Y'all have a good day.
All right, see ya. Who's next?
Vol Nation.
Vol Nation, good morning.
Or Papa T.
Morning, family. How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Just enjoying the day, man. Getting closer and closer to football season, so I'm getting more and more excited, man. Can't wait for game one. Just excited overall, man. I listening to you guys, we get more and more encouraged, because, like I said, living here in South Carolina, man, it's crazy. You guys were talking about, of course, the potential of the expansion and bringing in, of course, Texas and OU and all that, and who else would come and all that. And, personally, if I had a vote, I do not want Clemson to come in here because one, not because I care about whether we can compete against them or not. That's irrelevant. I don't think they can come into this league and do what they're doing in the ACC because the ACC is soft and sorry. But they talk so much trash. It's ridiculous. It's like they're all brand new, and every program they talk about the SEC and how bad and sorry the SEC is. Every program, and they got three of them all throughout the day. They talk about how sorry and soft and pitiful the history of Tennessee is, and just anything negative about Tennessee. They got people that just hate Tennessee. Let them stay in their sorry little conference.
No, Vol Nation, you want them to come so they can back it up. They can back it up. Remember, for the last couple of years, we've heard all this talk from Oklahoma fans hating on the SEC. Now they excited. They excited. They so happy. They can't wait to join the SEC. Yeah, SEC.
Yeah.
We can't wait to be a part of the SEC. Oh no! A couple of years ago, y'all was trashing the SEC. Now you happy that you're part of it. Nah,
Making
Clemson.
fun of our slogan.
Nah, Clemson, come on up in here. Come on up in here, Clemson. All that talk you've been talking last couple of years. See what it's like to play Auburn one week, Georgia the next week, and Alabama one week, in Florida in a 4-game stretch.
And then try to go win a national championship.
They could play all the teams in the West and Georgia and Florida and us in the East, and they wouldn't miss a beat. That's their philosophy. I'm like, okay, because they don't respect the gauntlet at all, and they don't understand the dynamic. Because I told them, I said, when you look at the difference between the ACC and SEC, I said it's very simple. All you got to do is look at the NFL draft. I said, when you look at the NFL draft, there's such a discrepancy between how many players come out of the SEC and how many players come out of every other conference. I said, that means that there's more prototypical NFL prospects in the SEC than there is in any other conference. That means when you line up week in and week out, you're more than likely playing against prototypical NFL players week in and week out. The physicality, the athleticism, every aspect of being a football player and what you want on an NFL field is right in front of you. I said, compared to what y'all are playing week in and week out, which is basically nothing. And so, they don't really get that. They don't understand that, But it is what it is. But yeah, personally, I want them to on the outside looking in. You don't like the kid in the candy store. You don't have no money to buy all that nice candy. Just look at you, but you see your friend inside. He's buying up everything. That's what I want them to be at. So that's just a personal thing for me. But and I'm all in on this Joe Milton thing, man. I've been tracking him, listening to you, listening to other programs. But being 6'5", 240. Trying to run the hyper offense because he does like mobile quarterbacks. To be able to, be standing 6'5", you're standing over the offensive lineman anyway, so you can see the entire field. You're throwing down and everything, and you can take off and run too. So
it's the Joe Milton hype train.
Yeah, that's it, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited just to see what the product looks like. Like I said, we've got a plethora of guys running in the backfield. We got wide receivers. Got a decent offensive line. And finally, it looks like we may have an offensive coach that can actually, train up some guys, develop some guys, and put a product on the field that we can be excited about. So I can't wait till day one, man. I can't wait for us to go out there against Bowling Green. I want to see us put up 50. I want to see the defense kind of do a little something. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll be back week 2 for Pittsburgh to see what we're going to do against that ACC team.
On my birthday.
They didn't hype Pittsburgh up, man. They think Pittsburgh's like the second or third best team in the ACC.
Well, you did just trash the ACC, so they might be.
So that's not saying much, but I'm just saying. That's what they hyping them up to be. They're like, they're all world because they got new offense and, the Georgia Tech, and they can beat this team. They look at their schedule and all this. So I just listen to them, And it's like they're talking out both sides of their mouth, man. One minute they trashing the SEC, and one minute they talking about, hey, maybe if we got an SEC, and so I just posed the question, tweeted it out there. I said, so what you're saying is that you really want, after trashing us all this time, you really want to be in the SEC, and if we put out an invite, you come on. Oh no, I'm not saying that. No, and I said right now, soft conference, you got an easy way to the playoffs every year. I said, but you prefer to be in the SEC since all the big dogs in the SEC, you want to come and play us. And they were like, oh, no, we didn't say all that. I'm saying, oh, okay. So they, like I said, they don't want to come to the SEC. At least the fans don't. I'm sure the university wouldn't mind because they're looking at the money. Right now they're bringing in like $27,000 a year, less than 30. $27 million a year, less than 30. Where this is a potential of us bringing in $60 million, I think they said.
It would add what 15 to 20 million more than what we're getting. So yeah,
because we're doing 44 now, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
That's huge, man. And I don't care what nobody say. Money does help in the context of trying to be better. That 15 million can even help out Vanderbilt.
Well, if they decided to use it on athletics.
and not academics, it would.
Right.
Yeah,
We got the NIL now, man.
Well, the new deal with ESPN is going to pay each team about $68 million
a year.
Yeah, a year.
Wow. Now, I do have a question for you guys. I'm sure you probably addressed it, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't. In the context, do you think that with this structure, with this model, that as far as the SEC having 16 teams, like that would be it pertaining to if they were having, quote unquote, a super conference, and then they were going to formulate maybe 2 or 3 others with the rest of the country, like 16 would be it for us because of how that pod looks, having 4, 4, and 4. And then
I don't think
also,
so, man. I think it's gonna be more.
You don't think so? You think it'd be more?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more. May not be in 2022, but I think it's gonna be more. I mean, why would you not want to add Ohio State, Clemson, and continue to add more and more, top programs if you are the SEC?
That's true. Well, that's if you're gonna just have one super conference and just run it like the NFL, like you were talking about earlier. I guess so. I guess I was trying to think in the structure of having conferences. If you had 2 or 3 conferences, super conferences, what would be the max? Because how many teams are actually going to be invited to be a part of this super conference shift of realignment? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to have enough to have, 16 teams in each one, or would you have to condense it or whatever? And then even with that, how soon? I know they've been talking about 2025 because of the money and things of that nature. How soon do you think if they get approved, which I believe if they, the SEC wants them, they will. They get their 11. How soon do you think that they would actually shift and say, okay, we're playing our first game in the SEC? Or you think they're going to actually wait till 2025, or do you think it'll be sooner?
I think it's going to be sooner, Vol Nation. Thanks for the phone call, my friend. I think it's going to be sooner. I think they'll do whatever it takes to buy out their contract with the Big 12 because there is an exit fee. I think all that'll get handled and figured out. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to happen sooner than 2025. I'm just surprised by Vol Nation's take there. If you, Vol Nation, live in Clemson territory, you hear all this trash talk about the SEC from Clemson fans, and now you have all this conference realignment, you're adding all these teams to the SEC, why would you not want Clemson in there? Why would you want them to continue to benefit from playing a weak schedule only to play – Jesus.
What a catch.
Good catch, girl.
Oh, my gosh. That's SportsCenter #1 and just saved Monica Abbott.
Oh, Lord. Oh. They almost hit a home run off Monica, but she robbed that home run. That was live reaction right there. At the Swain Event as we watching the USA softball team. 1 inning to get 3 runs.
They had the stupidest luck last inning.
Oh, my God. That was a great play.
It was a lucky play. Bounced off the girl's ankle and right into a glove.
It was a great play.
It was about to be bases loaded or 2-1.
It was a great play by them.
Play.
It was
lucky
great.
play.
It was a great play.
Luck has been
but yeah, Vol Nation, you should want Clemson should be the first team you want in the SEC, so they can experience what it's like to play back to back to back against a top 10 teams,
and then try to go win a natty.
Yeah, get beat up a little bit.
Lose your starting linebacker.
Yeah.
Your starting left guard.
You're over here playing Wake Forest and Syracuse and NC State. You all right over there?
No, man. My sunburn's making me – I've burnt all over and I'm itching all over. Like, here's the difference between Clemson –
You look like former friend from Waterboy right there, man.
Man, my back's itching. My chest is itching.
You're just scratching your nipples. I'm like, you good over there? Oh,
Here's
man.
the difference between the ACC and SEC. Last year when Trevor Lawrence had COVID, when he had to miss and DJ Uga had to start, what team did he start against? Boston College. Boston College. Last year, when Kentucky finally had to start Joey Gatewood, guess who Joey Gatewood started against?
Alabama.
Georgia.
Georgia.
And say what you will about Kirby Smart, the defense is not the problem at Georgia. That's the difference. Is like in the ACC when something like Trevor Lawrence being injured or sick and has to miss a game takes place, the backup gets to start against Boston College. In the SEC, Joey Gatewood has to start against Georgia.
Yeah, Clemson's the first team I want in the SEC. I want them in the SEC. Come on, get some of this SEC schedule. You know what's funny was when Jimbo was at Florida State and he would talk about the conference of the ACC against the SEC. Like, yeah, our conference is good. But then the moment he went to Texas A&M, he had to flip that script. I want to hear Dabo flip that script. Well, we playing the best conference in the land now. Oh, what about when you in the ACC? You was putting on for the ACC when you was there. I want to hear Dabo flip the script, and I want to see Clemson play a Tennessee schedule, play a LSU schedule. That's what I want to see.
I do too.
All right, let's go back to the
Just
phones.
don't schedule Tennessee. We got Neil and Mafia.
Neil and Mafia, good morning, my friend.
Morning, Swain.
Hey, brother.
About this NIL, and we've seen it roll out now for a little bit, and I'm going to give you some impressions.
Okay.
And just tell me if I'm wrong. Or
You're wrong.
If it looks like I'm barking up the wrong tree.
I'm just kidding. Go
let's
ahead.
say you got recruit X, and he's talking to school YZ. And school Y tells him, oh, man, you can come here. We need you. You can play right away. And, we got this great NIL program. You can really market yourself, blah, blah, blah. And he says, well, that's great, but school Z has an NIL, and they're offering me $200,000 under the table to even sign with them and get to the NIL. So as best I can tell, nothing has changed except either the top athletes or, with this, the more marketable athletes are having a legal source of income, and in the meantime, business goes on as usual under the table, predicated on the same business model of income tax evasion and fraud and conspiracy to commit same, banking fraud and conspiracy to commit same, wire fraud and conspiracy to commit same, money laundering and conspiracy to commit same. In short, a business model that has fewer scruples than what got Al Capone arrested on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's
okay.
Pretty much. I don't think that's going to be much change there. I mean,
so basically, to carry that out, all it would take is one enterprising U.S. attorney and one, say, Treasury or revenue official to get some dirt, let's say, on player X, who was charged with a marijuana offense and kicked off the team, and they're like, look, we can make this charge go away, or, because nobody cares anymore. But it is a crime, or you can face 4 to 6 years. What do you want to do? And he's like, okay, what do you want to know? And they're like, we want to know how the money is distributed. We want these hundreds of millions of dollars in untaxed revenue chased. We want them found. We want them prosecuted. And if that means we have to originally put the squeeze on these lower middle-class families whose kids did nothing more than be born with good genetics, then we'll do that. But the final goal is to end up with assistant athletic directors being walked out with FBI windbreakers on either side and their sport jackets slung over the handcuffs in front of them. Now, I want anybody to say that I have said one thing wrong.
No, I can't point any lies out there. I mean, that could happen, but in the history of college football, it has yet to happen. And everyone,
that is true.
And everyone knows what's going on. I mean,
that is true. But if it did happen, that would force above-board payment of the players. It would force a draft. It would force a lot of changes that actually would benefit the players, and not the hundreds of thousands of parasitic leeches, uncles, unscrupulous reporters, shyster camps that promise rating, all these people who have profited off these athletes for years And all you got to do is put the squeeze on 1 or 2, and the whole thing collapses like a house of cards. I genuinely, because I hate this conference realignment so much, I genuinely hope some officer of the court, some government, somebody out there is listening and know that I have just laid you away to bring down with RICO violations, not only the NCAA, but to haul Greg Sankey's ass off to prison. Have a good day.
See you, Neil Mafia. I mean, that would be the end of college football for real.
Yes, maybe we don't go with Neil and Mafia's plan.
That-
I would prefer to keep college football.
That will be the end. Everyone is, fearful of the end of college football being now with all the conference realignment. People were talking about the end of college football when the NIL dropped. No, what Neil and Mafia is talking about doing, that would truly be the end of the college football because a lot of people do what Neil and Mafia was describing. Players have been paid for decades and decades and decades. It's just how the sausage is made, how the hot dog is made. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is what it is. But thanks for the phone call, Neil Mafia. I appreciate that, man. Neil Mafia, I think it's safe to say that he does not like the conference alignment.
That is a safe assumption.
I think we can make that assumption and be pretty accurate on that one, even though he just said it too. 865-250-5503. Hour 3 powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Rough Olympics. It's been rough. Just took the L. Oh, man. Just took the L to Japan.
That game was stupid.
Oh, what a stupid game it was. Olympics are terrible.
Overrated.
Oh, gosh. It's terrible. Let's get to Buck Nasty. Buck Nasty, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Buck Nasty.
I've called in this morning to do a little hating.
Hate.
Started off, happy birthday, Swain.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
How old are you?
37.
Well, pimping, you look at least 60. But kudos to you.
Thanks.
For hiring a white guy with a receding hairline over there to your other side to keep you from looking 70. So congratulations on your intelligence.
This is where you're wrong. I don't have a receding hairline. It's just everything after the hairline is in trouble and receding. But the hairline's on point. So if you were...
It looks like the ocean when the tides are going out.
Yeah, that's true. I've got a reverse mohawk. But if you were as good as D.R. Vol and Volstorm and Neela Mafia, Big Orange, Mac at being petty, you'd at least have your facts straight.
Well, I quit watching you on live TV, but I couldn't stomach it and eat my breakfast at the same time, so I haven't seen you there in a while, on your Facebook live stream and
That's
all
weird.
the other stuff you got
My wife
going
told me
on.
y'all keep watching.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's looking for Halloween ideas for this coming up fall. Get ready for decorations and whatnot.
That'd be a good idea.
Boys, I know y'all have been the blunt of my jokes so far, but however, I'm calling in to tell Oklahoma and Texas, come on, get some of this smoke. I'm out here on these loving monies right now on the front porch, and I don't believe they want it. Number one, Oklahoma come to the great state of Tennessee in the year of 2015. You boys remember that ball game?
Oh, yeah, I remember it. It was a
Your
great
boy was in the stands for the entirety of that game, and I watched that Big Orange smack that ass for 3 3/4 quarters. And they almost got beat by an SEC bottom dweller considered at the time with a roster full of starters that were just freshmen and sophomores. And they supposed to have been a top 5, top 10 team in the country, talking about how they's number one, beating their chest over there. They'd beaten something else by the end of that game, and it wasn't a chest. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. And you remember that old boy after the game Butch Jones had to address? Down there in the student section, right there in front of old Buck Nasty while I was giving him the double bird.
Oh, you mean Eric Stryker?
Eric Stryker, the defensive end for him. Yep. Remember him?
The edge rusher. That was embarrassing for us. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
That
but
Bush
it ain't
doing
too
that was
much
more
fun
embarrassing
when the
than the
Rabbits
game.
got the gun.
What'd you say?
I said it ain't too much fun when the Rabbits got the gun, because if they want to come play with the big boys, they get to talk about how great the SEC is every week.
It's a different ball game. Different ball game.
It's a different game. Oh, and don't let me forget about Texas here. I hate to tell them, but their soul and savior, Matthew McConaughey, ain't going to be saying it's all right, all right, all right. Let me tell you. From what my sources have told me, that poor bastard doesn't even wear deodorant. At that Florida game in 2016 when we won, they shot a radar on the goalpost to check the temperature. It was 112 on the field. Now, in the stadiums, me and Miss Nasty was packed in between a pair of guys that's 350 plus. And you know them seats ain't but 12 inches wide.
You got room for one cheek.
So you could only imagine the humidities we was in up there.
Yeah. 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 Hey.
So what I'm saying is them boys need to just come on and get all they want. Texas, they think that they's big and they this and that. They ain't never seen the great Neyland Coliseum live and in person. They ain't never seen nothing like what we're going to display here in the South. Sure, Oklahoma's used to the air raid, but they ain't used to Mike Leach when they can barely even beat Oklahoma State.
That's true. That's true. Oklahoma's not ready for the swamp or Death Valley in the same season. It's going. I'm looking forward to seeing them try to compete on a week in and week out basis. I understand, y'all understand kind of my stance on how it's tough for Tennessee, but I am intrigued by how they will adapt. Missouri did a pretty good job adapting, but that was when the East was kind of down. Georgia was sleepwalking. Florida, they didn't have all their bullets in the chamber. They had some good players, but didn't have a great coach producing results. Now you got some better coaches in this league. You got Jimbo Fisher, who's won national championship. You got Ed Orgeron, who's won national championship over there. Like, you got some better coaches that you have to compete with. So it's going to be tough for those Oklahoma and Texas coaches when they come in to this conference. The conference is a lot harder than it was when A&M and Missouri first entered the league. But I am sitting back watching this all unfold with popcorn, and I think it's going to be entertaining to see how it happens. It's happening. You just got to embrace it. There's no reason to fight it, Nila Mafia. It's happening. It's happening, Nila Mafia. Just sit back. Just go with it. 865-255-03. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare. Let's get to Texan Vol. Texan Vol, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I've been listening for a while and really enjoying your show.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you calling, man.
I was calling because I remember you've been talking lately about how the culture is what's going to separate Tennessee. Well, hopefully will separate Tennessee from other schools in the SEC and allow them to start growing back into their former glory. And that has got me thinking about, well, what programs could I compare Tennessee to as far as culturally they're doing that? And I was curious if you would think that Kentucky would be a good example of a school that has been clawing its way up in the past couple of years, mainly due to culture.
Yep, perfect example.
Because if I look right now, they're beating us in recruiting. We both have like 11, 12 commits, and they have a couple 4-stars. I'm not worried about that, but I'm just saying they're a little bit ahead of us according to the numbers. And last year, they gave us the best ass whooping of any team that we played. We only scored 1 touchdown.
Oh, they put it on us.
So, and as a Tennessee fan, I hate to even think about Kentucky beating us. And, that's typically one you just check off every year. Okay, we're going to beat them. But I was just curious if you would think that they're a good example of, that culture actually changing. And I'll jump off here now, but appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I think that's a great example. I mean, we fight it so much, man. Some of us fight it so much because we just can't wrap our heads around Kentucky doing the right things in football. Cole Kubelik has their offensive line is the best offensive line in the SEC.
Crazy.
And that didn't happen overnight. I mean, they were listed right there, I think like 3rd last year by Cole Kubelik and had Tennessee number 2. But this is something that just didn't happen overnight. They've built this offensive line the same way they've built their team. They've developed their players. They have. And they found ways to lose last year. They should have won at least 2 or 3 more games last year. But there was a time ago where you wouldn't expect Kentucky football to be on the same field as a team from Auburn. But Kentucky outplayed Auburn for most of the game and just beat themselves because Terry Wilson can't hold on to the football, can't play the quarterback position at a high level. But that's a great example by Texan ball. Great example. I mean, you don't hear any crazy scandals up there. The only thing you hear is about the coaches getting arrested. I mean, to be honest.
Which is crazy.
I mean, that's what you hear. Coaches getting arrested. I mean, they've had 2 football coaches get arrested in all season. But they have probably upgraded their roster better than anyone else inside this conference with the transfer portal.
They've taken advantage of the transfer portal, that's for sure.
They've done a really good job. Tennessee's done a good job. They've done a good job too.
Yes. I don't think Tennessee's getting enough credit for the job that it has done in the transfer portal since Josh Heupel took over. Because everybody just points to the guys that left: Crouch, To'o, Wanye, so on and so forth. Ty Chandler. Why am I forgetting the other tackle's name that went to A&M?
Jameer
Johnson.
Jameer Johnson?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be A&M starting right tackle this year. I mean, there were a lot of key pieces that left, and I know it's the popular thing to do right now is to bash Henry To'o and say that he's not some great player. No, he is a great player. He just had a bad year because of a horrible culture and piss-poor coaching. And I guarantee you, if I had to make a bet, Henry To'o is way more likely to return to NFL prospect this year than not. Even with him sitting out of spring practice and missing some crucial time that he needed to take advantage of and improve upon, like I still expect for him to be a really good football player moving forward for the rest of his career, including the NFL. So despite losing those players, Tennessee actually went out and they didn't get a Henry To'oTo'o level replacement.
Juwan Mitchell was more productive.
Correct, but as we know, stats don't tell the entire story. Alabama didn't want Juwan Mitchell.
Who knows? Who knows? I see you looking at me over there.
Juwan Mitchell's going to come to Tennessee over Alabama.
Well, no. I don't know how much, because there was a time where we didn't know for sure if Alabama wanted Henry To'oTo'o. Obviously, they wanted him enough to get him now, but like it wasn't always in stone. It wasn't a foregone conclusion that Henry would go to Alabama. I know he wanted to go, according to Daddy's comments, but I heard that Alabama was kind of thinking about it. So, but yeah, Henry got more upside. I get it. More upside. 2 more years of play. I understand, or even 3 more years of play because you count COVID last year. The year doesn't count. So I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to nitpick there.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make this a Henry T conversation. My point is that because everybody's mad about him going to Alabama and because he had a bad year last year and didn't participate in the spring, they just think that he's not going to be a good football player moving forward, and that's just simply not the case. But and Juwan Mitchell, Henry To'oTo'o, I didn't mean to compare them either. I think Juwan Mitchell is a really good football player who is going to have a good impact on Tennessee. I think I feel most comfortable saying that he's going to have the biggest impact out of all the transfers, including the quarterbacks, because I haven't seen Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker perform in a game at Tennessee. We don't know what we're going to get with those 2 quarterbacks.
That's it.
And technically, we don't know what we're going to get with Juwan Mitchell in a Tennessee uniform, but I feel better about what we're going to get with him in a Tennessee uniform than Milton or Hooker. So I think Juwan Mitchell is going to be really good for Tennessee. So you addressed that need, although you could still use another linebacker or 2. And technically, you did go out and get William Mohan, nicknamed Apache.
That's right. That's right.
But it seems like he's more of an outside backer. So you did go out and get some transfers there. You do have Byron Young and Tyler Barron. Like, you have pieces, even though you lost a DeAndre Johnson or Kavon Bennett in the secondary. I think Key Lawrence is a massive loss, even though he didn't really play a lot last year. But, hey, you did go out and get Brandon Turnage from Alabama, and he's just a redshirt sophomore. You got Kamal Haddon, who signed with Auburn out of JUCO this past cycle and went through spring practice and then decided to transfer after spring practice. So you made some additions there as well. The quarterback room got better. We'll see if it translates to the field, but I'd rather have the duo of Milton Hooker than the duo of Shrout and JG.
Oh, you better believe it.
So hard not to think that you didn't upgrade there. You did take a L at the running back position with Eric Gray. Moving on. Eric Gray's a NFL running back, and I think Ty Chandler was sneaky productive. Receiver, you got better at because you went out and added Javonte Payton. You didn't have significant losses at that position. You will miss Wanye. Wanye has the potential to be a first-round tackle this upcoming draft, and now you're going to be relying on a JUCO tackle and Jeremiah Crawford, or a redshirt senior and Kayron Calvert, who's never really been able to stay healthy, or, no disrespect, but a former walk-on in Dane Davis. So you go from a potential first-round pick. But a long-winded way of saying I think Tennessee actually did a really good job in the transfer portal, and everybody's thinking 3-4 wins for Tennessee, just going to be brutal and abysmal. And I don't think they're going to be brutal and abysmal. I don't think they're going to be good, but to think that they just have no chance at winning no games but their cupcake games, I think is ridiculous. And it seems like there's that thought process about Tennessee out there.
Yeah. The thing about it is that it could go that way. I don't think it will. Certainly you feel that way, that you don't think it will. but like it could. It could because of lack of depth. It could because of some short areas. It could because of the competition. It could because of injuries ravishing a group. It could because of COVID. Like it could, but I don't think it will. I think these guys have way too much pride. We'll take a quick timeout. Nope, we're not taking a quick timeout. We're just rolling. We're rolling with the man, Austin Price himself. Well, let's do it. Austin Price, VolQuest.com. AP, good morning, my friend.
Woo, it's a steamy one out there, Jason Swain.
Is it warm out there?
It is warm out there. It's getting warmer. It's overcast in West Knoxville, so like there's no sun, but it's starting to get sticky. Just left Webb, saw sophomore Brandon Winton. Good look. Yeah, Spartans may make a little noise this year. Change of offensive philosophy, hiring Rusty Bradley, got some nice young skill and nice young quarterback. So, impressed by what Dave Meskey and the Spartans had this morning out of practice.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of player he's going to be. There's some talent right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, especially this past week. There's been some talent added to the city. In the high school ranks, what everybody wants to know about. Well, everybody wants to know about the man, the number one player in the country, according to ESPN, and that is Walter Nolan. So, Austin Price, how did we get here where Walter Nolan is basically going to be 10 minutes away from campus playing high school football?
I don't know how we got here. I'm not sure Walter could tell you how we got here. That's the $64,000 question is, why, how, why Knoxville? Marlon Walls is in town. He's engaged to former Lady Vol softball player Tiffany Huff. So that's one of the big reasons why he left St. Benedict. Of course, he was Walter's coach at St. Benedict. But Marlon's not coaching, but I do think that, Marlon's a good counsel for the Nolans. They looked at a few different schools. They looked at even going back to IMG. And at one point there was some strong thought that he may end up at IMG, but not the case.
Just wow. I think although, you have Tennessee fans putting two and two together, I don't know if it makes four or not, but Tennessee fans have seen some future cast there on Rivals and getting their hopes up. Monday.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You've not seen me future cast anybody because I think that sets a false narrative. I've tried to caution against this because I think that in a lot of ways Tennessee almost becomes
usage? Any early returns on those three?
Ben loves Kayman Marley. He loves Kayman Marley.
Not as much as Dominic Wood Anderson.
I think that until they get out there, they're not going to know about Kamal Haddon. I mean, he could do some 7-on-7 stuff. Same thing with Brandon Turnage. So when I look at Tennessee's secondary, I don't think that Kayman Marley is someone who's going to, really factor this year. And if he does, he's going to be playing safety, not corner, based off everything I've been told. And I think potentially body-wise, frame-wise, he probably grows into linebacker long-term. We'll see. But I do think that's something, to look at long-term with him. As far as Haddon and Turnage, I think Tennessee's got a lot of high hopes for those kids, but at the same time, until they get out there, until Willie Martinez and Tim Banks can kind of get their hands on them and see what they're all about, I think you're flying blind a little bit. So, I think if you're asking me who's going to start the opener, I would be shocked if it's not Warren Burrell and Alante Taylor. But who knows? Maybe one of those guys has a strong fall camp and unseats one of these, incumbents for the starting job. Either way, Tennessee needs all those guys to, take a step in the right direction and be a factor in the two deep to help them, because they can't just rely on a couple of guys at corner all year. There's going to be injuries. They really need all those guys to step up and be a factor.
1 week until the boys report, and the first practice is on the 4th. I would say, Austin, you get a chance to check out practice in the mornings, and it won't be as hot, but it's not going to matter. It's still 90 degrees the moment you wake up to the moment you get ready to go to sleep around here. So it's going to be interesting to see who steps forward at the quarterback position. When does Josh Heupel start reducing those reps? You got 4 guys competing for the job, but at some point you have to reduce those reps. And when does that happen is something that I'll be looking forward to. I'll be paying close attention to. For sure, because a coach can sit there and say, well, we haven't made a decision yet, but you can notice who's getting the most reps in practice, and you don't give it to guys that you don't expect to play.
That's correct. The last staff did a lot of two-spotting, so it was hard to kind of get a feel for who, but I don't think that's going to be that way in the staff. I think, early on it'll be kind of even, but I think by August 20th, you'll start to see some real separation as far as reps.
Austin, did you know today was Swain's birthday?
36, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, 36. I'll take it.
See, how good is that I knew how old you were?
Hey, man, you know everything.
No, I don't. Trust me, there's a lot that I don't know. But, I am good at math. And gauging off when you graduated and when I graduated, quick math told me you were 36.
On a more serious note, real quick, Jay Hardy going to Liberty, did that surprise you? I know a couple months back we had talked about him potentially going the JUCO route, and then
to come here he had to go JUCO. As simple as that. Hey, Hugh is he's taking some flyers on kids, getting a Jay Hardy, getting a Caden Salter. I think he knows, if he's going to stay at Liberty long term, and be a factor, at that level, he's got to continue to bring in really good players and, taking some guys that maybe have had some off-field troubles and trying to, build them back up. Something he's trying to do. I'll say this. If let's say he bolts after this next coming season, it'll be interesting to see, if those guys stick around, or what. And then furthermore, how will that job be received with, some talent, there built for the long term if somebody come and tried to hire him away and he were to leave.
I think one thing we can say with a little bit of confidence, I don't think if Hugh Freeze leaves it's going to be in the SEC. I don't think he's going to be coming here anytime soon.
You don't think he's coming to Tennessee to choose joy?
No, I don't think he's going to choose Joy at Tennessee.
Joy.
There's not really anyone on the hot seat in the SEC unless you want to look at Ed Orgeron.
My prediction is that Dan Mullen is in the NFL this time next year. I think Florida's going to go through a coaching search. There's some talk about him and the Florida AD not getting along.
I can see that.
And Dan already flirted with the NFL.
Yeah, Florida won't be choosing Joy.
We need to do once you get back to some downtime, you all need to go back and how many of those choose Joy type things, count the top 5, those type, stuff that happened that never, the whole notion of things is going to go. It's like the, Gruden's land in Greer County and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that nothing tops Gruden, trying to read into things and put two together. But man, Humors was fun for a little bit, for 5 minutes, and then it got really annoying, and it made us look just desperate and it made us not think clearly. It's like, yo, we're not bringing him in with everything that's going on right now. It's not happening. So the league is changing, my friend. It's going to be fun to see what it looks like here in 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Let me ask you this though, because we had a discussion a little bit earlier in the show, and someone asked us on the text box about the adjustment that Josh Heupel and company will have to make, and really for all the new coaches in the SEC will have to make. But I want to speak more about Tennessee because, hey, this is a team that we cover. What do you think of some of the adjustments that Josh Heupel and company have had to make coming from Central Florida to Tennessee?
Well, I do think there is an adjustment. I'm sure that the staff probably would tell you there's not, because no one ever wants to admit those type of things. But I think, in how you recruit at this level and how you deal with donors, it's just bigger. It's more fast paced. At the end of the day, some of the guys on this staff have been in this league. They understand it. If you've not been in this league, you probably don't. I'm sure some of them, oh, no, I've been here. I've done it. Yes, okay, whatever. It's just different. It's just different.
It is, man.
It just means more.
Being in Knoxville or in the SEC at one of these schools is different than being in another conference. And so I think there is a learning curve. I think they've been fine. I think they would be the first to admit that, they've not been perfect. But no staff's going to be perfect. And they've had some things go against them that it's not their fault. And it wouldn't have mattered who was the coach here. It would have went against them. So, it'll be something that, that they'll learn from. And I think they'll only get better. They're only going to get better at recruiting here. They're only going to get better at coaching here. They're only going to get better with dealing with everything around Tennessee here because they've been here and now they have some experience at doing it.
You know what that reminds me of when you say that the coaches are like, oh, no, it's not a big deal. It's like when the sink is leaking and you tell your wife, oh, I can fix it, when really what you should be doing is calling Hiller and getting a real professional plumber to come fix it. Oh, no, I got it. I can do it. No, you can't. No, you can't. You just don't want to admit it. Same thing for some of these coaches who come from different conferences. Well, we did it big at this school. We did it big at this conference. We did it here. Doesn't mean that you're going to just bring it over here and just be able to do it without any type of resistance. It is a learning curve.
That's not the right analogy. The right analogy would be if, I tried to sell my house myself and all of a sudden all these people kept coming over that weren't pre-approved. And then I said, what I should do is call Jennifer Morris.
There you go.
See, Swain, that's what I'm talking about. We're at 10 o'clock. The show's coming to an end. I'm dropping sponsors left and right here, making you more money. Call Jennifer Morris. Give them the number, Swain.
865-257-7897 or email her at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And Ben McKee is a living, breathing, walking testimonial himself because He's having a house party. That's right, not an apartment party, but a house party at his new house, thanks to Jennifer Morris, and everyone's invited. Right, Ben?
Yep. Give him Ben's phone number.
865-555-5555.
No, it's the old Ace Ventura. Your number's still 911. Oh, righty then.
No, it ain't 865. My bad. 256-555.
I got the 865 number.
Yeah, Alabama number.
I got the Knoxville number.
All right, AP, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Be good. Have fun.
All right, see y'all. I'll see you. And we'll see y'all. Because it's time to go. It's 10 a.m. Actually, it's 10:02 here on a beautiful Tuesday morning. All right, Ben, what you got going on today, man?
I'm going to the driving range because I'm going golfing with Brad tomorrow.
Oh, man, I didn't get the memo on that. Nobody invited me.
Because you would have declined.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Well, that's our time here on the Swain Event. Hope you have a great day. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Peace and love. We are out.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook. Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.